I'm not even. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not quite in the round of 8. The next round, the winner plays Beastie in a best of 5. Spawning here in the bottom left, he's off-raced his Protoss. It's My Insanity's Serral.
In the top right, as the pink Terran, he's totally random, but he's actually totally Caliber.
Yeah. Actually, I'll probably update title T here in a sec, but yeah, we have some people confused about off-race versus random. Do you mind explaining that for a second while I do this?
Okay. Yeah, so random has its chances of being both like 2 off races, and also has the chance of getting your on race. So if you're Terran, then you have a chance to get all 3. Some people, I guess, are saying that it should have been an off race tournament to make sure that everyone is a huge cluster, you know what? But it's the chances of actually getting your main race, I guess, is still like, fun enough that it, might not happen, it might not matter. And honestly, like if you really want everyone to be bad, which I guess is the goal of an off race only
Somewhat.
tournament, then you're gonna be disappointed because a lot of these pro gamers actually do off race. So like their off race is still pretty good. You're not gonna always have laughs and giggles as someone doesn't know how to 3 racks proxy or something like that. So I don't know what the some people are complaining, some people actually just were really confused,
No,
but
we had some people asking, like, joining in, I think, late to the tournament, asking why the fuck would Hydra pick Terran? Is he insane? Sorry, as I was fixing the overlay. And the clarity on that, I just want to really shine on the fact for all the players remaining at this point is they don't get to pick their race. That's the point. There was actually, we put a poll out there about a month ago when we first conceptualized this tournament, saying, what do you guys think would be best? Like, random only, random into, like, if you lose, you can off race, or random, versus blank. Like, we had a lot of choices, and we had off racing as one of them. And it wasn't just feedback from a couple of pros, but a majority of the fans, they wanted to see a lot of random. So we just decided, you know what? It's probably a lot easier to do it this way anyways. There's less rules that need to be written. We just say random across the board. Now, we asked this earlier today when we cast Serral playing Terran. His teammate Winter, so not funny enough because he beat Winter earlier, right? My Insanity's Winter, not Streamer Winter, coming to chat, dropping some knowledge bombs, saying Serral's actually GM with all races.
okay. So Serral actually going to be a serious contender to win this tournament. Caliber though is also a random grandmaster, right?
He was in the past. I have no
Yeah,
idea
he
where
was
he
in the
is
past.
nowadays. I love Caliber to death, but he's not been
Yeah.
a streamer or a
Um,
tournament contender for a while, so I don't know.
yeah, exactly. So I think Serral is definitely more on form, especially for a tournament setting. Caliber is obviously still going to be good with all 3 races. You know, if you're a pro gamer, you don't really lose 100% of your, what made you that way, but you do lose some of that. But like we have cast Caliber before the last week or so. We cast him like 3 times, and he
Yeah,
didn't
it's for
seem to
Scarlet.
really, right? Yeah, he didn't really seem to take it too seriously, which is like one of the problems, like cannon rushing as Protoss when that really does not work so much anymore. So I don't know how seriously he's gonna take it here.
Yeah, actually, that's probably my favorite moment of casting anything in the last couple of weeks. Just that moment where Scarlet didn't scout, and she just says, "Is there a cannon in my base?" Yeah.
He's like, I imagine like really sheepish, like, yeah,
Hmm.
kinda.
Anyways, regardless for Caliber, I am more interested in Serral because I do think, and God forbid, every one of our fans, you even might kill me for this. I think off racing, Protoss is going to be a lot harder to play than Terran. Mostly because you've got this element of the race that's built into it where everything is more expensive, so losses hurt more. Whereas for Terran, you're like, oh, I lost 15 Marines. Good thing it only costs like a small amount of minerals and no gas. Forgive me
Forgive you for what?
for making Protoss seem like they're difficult to play.
Oh, I was.
Not listening. Excellent.
No, I
Anyways,
was listening, but I thought you were gonna do something really bad, like in chat.
no. So, anyways, the point of that still being though, like, regardless of what build Serral goes for, regardless of whether it's GM or not, like, I do think you're not practiced with this. Small things, like especially what we saw with Hydra moments ago, not quite knowing how those tank drops work. There are
Hmm.
elements of the matchup that are pretty important and look simple at a glance, but then you realize like, oh, I'm doing this wrong and I'm dying.
Yeah, it's always going to exist. You're going to be weaker on one race no matter what, or even the 2 races. So we'll see what the mistakes are going to be made here, though. Oh, damn Skype. This offline online thing is really bothering me. And the
Turn off your
Cyclone,
phone.
Just turn it off completely?
That's what I do when we're casting. I don't know. Are you texting somebody? Is Steve sending you
No.
some texts?
I
Does
I
Does
guess
Steve send you nudes?
no. That is, I guess, there's an idea. You'd really hope that just canceling Skype out of it would save it, though. But yeah, I guess that would be it's not a bad plan, Rifkin. Thank you.
Sorry, this is what I do because I get really sick of it too.
Yeah, it makes sense. The more that it's happening, like, damn. Where are we in this game, though? We have, yes, the tank drops, and I think a two-base push probably on the way here for Caliber. At some point, you can abuse that little ledge, little spot on Orbital Shipyard, especially if Serral takes a third, which all Protosses are doing.
That scan sees a very small army, and for Caliber, that's we start licking your lips. But the problem is for Serral, like he did cast Revelation on the army. He knows exactly the fact that there's a ton of Marines already in play. I don't know if Caliber's gonna wait for combat shields and maybe try and line up that timing with one weapon upgrade or not. But if he does, that's gonna Serral the potential to have disruptors or Colossus back at home, and I think a disruptor could be very dangerous. Again, even the most practiced players who main race Terran are still struggling to deal with disruptors.
The problem... Okay, maybe not. I thought the problem was going to be that Caliber was going to go towards that little backside on the rocks and try and abuse that position, whereas it is like their disruptor can't get past rocks, unlike a Colossus. It'd have to go all the way around, you know? But that's not the case. Caliber is going for a direct push to the face, and a disruptor will potentially be very handy. Very, very good. I was gonna scan and just not see the disruptor. It's still coming forward, I think.
It's not. It's stopped at the top. That's really nice.
Ooh. Yeah. Scans for an observer, I guess. Psych, there's not one there.
Oh, Mothership Core is gonna get picked off. Ooh, that's really bad if it goes down. Barely gets out of range. So tanks are lined up here pretty nicely. The time warp goes down, but it's not gonna buy that much time, ironically enough. Quick question on chat asking why is Winter not playing today? He's Grandmaster Random. So first I'll take shots fired and say he's Grandmaster Random NA. But secondly, he did play, and he lost to Serral in the first round today. And I believe he is casting now, unless he's decided to start playing some games. Mortals are going to tear down those rocks. Not too bad. Yeah, these drops, I'm really curious to see if Caliber is going to catch him off guard. I mean, there's not really a lot to defend back here.
It does have the Cyclone in it, so it could grab the Mothership Core. If not, then the Cyclone does feel a little useless. It grabs a probe instead. Goes for the Pylon. Will lose the Cyclone.
No. Yep.
There you go.
Just took some time. It was like lagging.
Yeah, pick up and get out. There's only Adepts here. Blink is about to finish up, but I don't see any Stalkers going towards the back there. Actually, the warping of Stalkers happened at the front, so there's only 4 of them right now. Going into Colossus after 2 Disruptors, too.
I love this. If I put a name over Serral and we weren't looking at him, he would look like this was Mana or Night Ender. Just anyone else who knows how to play this matchup. Like this, I like this build out of him.
Yeah, he looks very solid, but so does Caliber. I mean, he's not done anything wrong, per se. Just
well,
the thing he's doing is...
He doesn't have 50 Liberators auto-win the game.
Oh, my bad. My bad. But just what he's done has not actually done anything. It's a situation where yes, as a Terran you would have loved to already done some damage, but it doesn't happen, and you do have to look towards that long game, your own 4th. Yeah, that high Liberator count definitely, and you have to deal with Colossus, which have come back to being a menace. Damn Colossus.
Whoa, Caliber's actually intentionally making Hellbats here. This is kind of cool. Hellbats, I mean, I do believe Woodmine's trump all, given any situation versus Protoss. But Hellbats will still be pretty good against Zealots, at least a lot better than Marines and Marauders will be.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, against Charge Lots, they are still pretty good. We had experiments with them in the very beginning of Heart of the Storm, actually, back when Hellbats were stupidly overpowered. Okay, this drops clean up really easily. And Marauder Hellbat was stupidly broken. And then they changed the Hellbat, so it stopped being so. But it's still the case that, yeah, like, Woodmines would be better to cover the Liberators especially, as the Blink Stalkers won't necessarily mind blinking into Hellbats, but they definitely would have mind blinking into Widowmines.
I mean, one of the only reasons to get Hellbats that I can see in this situation is because you're looking for either you're hoping that they'll soak the hits from the Immortals, or the Zealots, because they're not fast enough to outrun the Disruptors. The Adepts are actually going to be better because they got bonus damage versus light and range on them. So if your concern is zealots, I think Widow Mines are the best. They completely destroyed the zealot Archon, zealot charge, zealot storm strategies, right? Like zealot period gets destroyed by Widow Mines period.
I guess they're almost like an additional Marauder, though. Like, they have some nice health, so they can take a few shots from the Colossus.
Maybe.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
guess Colossus don't do as much damage anymore, so that's a good point.
yeah, like it's still like you're kind of grasping why you get Hellbats, but certainly against the charge lots they'll be okay. In terms of soaking up for the rest of the army, they'll be okay. But for anything else, nah, not so much. He's going to be looking for defensive fights as he tries to get his Liberator range, as well as just a high Liberator count. And Serral, well, he doesn't have to push up there. He can just stop Caliber from getting a 4th base, which he has eyes on.
Yeah, I love that he's continuing to expand while this goes on as well. Lots of cannons, why not? You got the money. He's maxed out on supply. He's not doing much else, so it guarantees pretty good defense. Since that Cyclone out trying to pick off the Oracle, because the annoying thing was that Revelation makes it so difficult for Caliber to maneuver, much less position. Not even thinking about the Observer above the army. Meanwhile, for Serral, this gets worse for his opponent, better for him. Storm completes. Tempest potentially on the way next. He's got production and bank out the wazoo right now. This is actually looking very good for Serral, and again, not because Caliber's done anything wrong, but Serral's been able to just get to where he wants with no opposition.
Yeah. It is, like, that is some of the situation is other Terran pro gamers, main race Terrans, will find themselves in similar positions all the time against Protoss, just being holding on 3 base or 4 and trying to get to a high Liberator count, and they still don't do so well. This kind of Doom Drop, though, is very bold, very dangerous, but it does skirt past the army, and Serral still doesn't want to attack into Caliber's setup.
The funny thing about this weird amalgamation of being so spread out, it's kind of hard to count. And I don't know that that actually looks too much different than the last time he cast Revelation. So he may not have even realized 5 medevacs got away while this went on. 2 being put in the natural, rest of the main. Since he's maxed out, he can't warp anything at home.
Oh.
He actually has to walk home.
Yeah, didn't have to lose the 4th command center, though. That kind of sucked.
I didn't realize this was blue flame, by the way, on this helmet. That's super cool.
Yeah,
That's,
very interesting.
Serral has to come completely home. He's going to lose the Cybernetics. Okay, it's a little annoying. Gateway's starting to go down. Robo and the Stargates would be the biggest thing. But you know what? He didn't actually notice there's a fleet beacon behind this yet. It's kind of a bit of a problem with his priority targeting. The the 3rd Nexus looks like it's going to go down. Marauders are pretty good. Oh my god, maybe not. There we go.
Does get it. At the end of the day, though, I wonder if this is just simply... It's not a minor setback, but a simple setback, I guess is the better way to put it. As, like, Caliber's army still can't take on Serral's.
No, and the thing was, this should have been that perfect distraction to take that 4th while this went on simultaneously. Like Caliber's attack was good, but it wasn't great because he didn't get ahead because of it. All he did at most was level the playing field, and even then, that's arguable because Caliber's army is still inferior to that of Serral's.
For sure. That does go back to him not taking that, or losing the 4th base. Like, he wanted to take it. He had the same idea you did, but then the army was there and he didn't pull it back in time. So that's why it only just looks to have finished. They are both pretty much maxed out, so Caliber is getting extra command centers, anticipating that eventually he'll be able to move out and eventually be able to take more bases, which he does need to do very soon.
This medevac is going to very awkwardly find this base for the first time. Lots of cannons, actually. I'm worried it might die flying over it. Serral saw that with a pylon, thank goodness, so he's going to respond to it, but at the same time, the entire army starts moving out, and he has eyes on this thanks to Revelation. I'm going to ruin all kinds of graphs so you guys can see this. Now, Probe's getting picked off. I guess it sucks, certainly, but this is a player who has a considerable gas bank. He's got feedbacks.
Oh, bye-bye.
Son of a bitch.
Feedbacks are pretty good. This Terran army, even if the tanks are in a very good position, I don't know, like, there's not a lot of fodder on Serral's army here. It is all about those Colossus and Tempest, but here comes the rest of his army, which will provide that layer that might be missing. Even then, that was still questionable. Oh, the Liberators also come in to join the party.
So I guess the nice thing about Tempest, well, they've got annoying range. Their damage isn't super threatening. Wait, what?
What? He'll never check there.
He will absolutely check there. Every rally sends him through that part of the map. These tanks are on siege. The Liberators aren't high enough in count, and now he's really worried about this Tempest, but I don't think this is the time to be worried about the Tempest. There's only 3 of them. They're going to only slowly whittle away at the army. So he's going to go for a bit of a concave and catch the ground army. Disruptor's going to get a decent hit, but nope, gets focused down. Caliber is actually making this work in his favor. The Disruptors were not transformed. Their splash damage is hitting the Colossus as well as the Tempest simultaneously. The ground army may not win, but if he can take care of the air, he'll kill the Colossus, he'll kill the Tempest, he'll kill the damn 2 Immortals underneath this. Oh my god, that went really well.
He did end up taking that fight. However, the Remax is a lot better for Serral, who has had a lot better mining most of the time. Now with the gold base, Caliber did take a little bit of a lead.
This is hilarious.
I don't know why, like, Serral does not have to get
He's not
Tempest
scouted
again.
the gold yet. The Tempest, I mean, he knows it's there, but he actually hasn't physically scouted it. There we go. The Immortals will tear this down.
Templar!
He's actually a loose, like,
planetary.
whoa, that planetary just killed a lot of Templar and forced out 2 Archons out of Templar that had energy banked up for many storms. I would almost argue that planetary was worth it. Good game anyways, but GG.
Dang.